In the year 1914, beneath the grand halls of the Smithsonian Institution, Milo Thatch works in a sweltering boiler room. While the prestigious board of curators dismisses him as a crackpot, Milo is a brilliant linguist and cartographer obsessed with a single goal: finding the lost continent of Atlantis. He's driven by the memory of his grandfather, Thaddeus Thatch, who swore that a legendary book called the Shepherd's Journal held the key to the city's location. Milo believes the journal is in Iceland, but the board refuses to fund a wild goose chase. Just as Milo reaches his breaking point, a mysterious woman named Helga Sinclair appears. She whisks him away to the opulent estate of Preston B. Whitmore, an eccentric billionaire and old friend of his grandfather. Whitmore reveals that he already found the Shepherd's Journal. He challenges Milo to open it, and as the young man translates the ancient Atlantean script, his eyes widen. It isn't just a myth, it's a map. Whitmore explains that he owes a debt to Milo's grandfather, and he has spent years preparing a massive expedition. He offers Milo a spot on the team as the lead linguist. "Everything you need is waiting," Whitmore says. "The question is, are you ready to find it?" Milo, clutching his grandfather's glasses, realizes his life's work is finally about to begin.
Everything you need is waiting. The question is, are you ready to find it?
Milo arrives at the harbor to find a marvel of modern engineering, the Ulysses, a massive ironclad submarine. He is introduced to the crew, a motley group of specialists, including Commander Rourke, a hardened soldier, Vinny, the demolition expert, Audrey, the teenage mechanical prodigy, and Dr. Sweet, a giant of a man with a gentle soul. Milo feels like a fish out of water among these gritty professionals, but Rourke assures him that his book learning is what will get them through the front door. As the Ulysses descends into the crushing depths of the Atlantic, the atmosphere grows tense. They reach the Crevice of Souls, a deep trench mentioned in the journal. Suddenly, the sonar pings. A massive mechanical shape emerges from the darkness, the Leviathan, a terrifying robotic lobster the size of a battleship. It was built by the ancients to guard the entrance to the city. The Leviathan tears through the submarine's hull like parchment. In a frantic, explosive sequence, the crew abandons the Ulysses and retreats into smaller sub-pods. Milo watches in horror as the great mothership is crushed, sinking into the abyss. The survivors narrowly escape through a narrow underwater tunnel, emerging into a vast, air-filled cavern system deep beneath the Earth's crust. The expedition has begun, but they are already down to a fraction of their resources. Trapped thousands of miles below the surface, the expedition moves overland using heavy trucks and digging machines. Milo uses the Shepherd's Journal to guide them through a labyrinth of volcanic tubes and bioluminescent forests. Along the way, he begins to bond with the crew. He learns that they aren't just experts, they are a family of sorts, though their motivations are purely financial. They want the payday of a lifetime. One night, while the camp sleeps, a swarm of fireflies, which turn out to be incendiary insects, ignites their fuel reserves. A massive fire breaks out, forcing the crew to flee across a precarious stone bridge. The bridge collapses, sending their vehicles tumbling into a deep crater. Milo is separated from the group and finds himself being watched by masked figures in the shadows. He is wounded by a fall, but a mysterious woman in tribal attire approaches him. She wears a glowing blue crystal around her neck. She touches the crystal, and a strange energy flows from it, instantly healing Milo's wound. Before he can speak to her in her own tongue, Rourke and the rest of the crew arrive with guns drawn. The masked figures reveal themselves to be Atlanteans. They aren't extinct, they are alive, and they are standing at the edge of a breathtaking, hidden civilization.
The ultimate prize.
The crew is escorted into the heart of Atlantis. It is a city of impossible beauty. Vast stone structures suspended by gravity-defying technology, surrounded by lush waterfalls and glowing flora. However, Milo notices something wrong. The city looks weathered and decaying. The people seem to have forgotten their own history. They are brought before the king of Atlantis, an ancient man who's been blind for centuries. He is wary of the outsiders, sensing their greed. Your manner of discovery tends to involve fire and blood, he warns. However, his daughter, Princess Kida, the woman who healed Milo, convinces him to let them stay for one night. Kida takes Milo aside. She is desperate for his help. She explains that her people have lost the ability to read their own language. They can no longer operate their flying machines or heal their sick effectively because the great shield that once protected them is fading. Milo realizes the shepherd's journal is more than a map, it's a manual. He shows her how to read the inscriptions on the city walls. As they explore, Milo begins to fall for the brave, inquisitive princess, realizing that Atlantis isn't a treasure chest to be looted, but a living culture struggling to survive. Milo and Kida dive into an underwater chamber beneath the city, where Milo translates a mural that reveals the source of Atlantis' power, the heart of Atlantis. It is a sentient, crystalline entity that fell from the stars. It provides the blue light that powers their technology and grants them unnaturally long lives. Milo realizes the journal had a missing page. The heart isn't just a battery, it's a protective deity. When Atlantis was flooded thousands of years ago, the heart chose a host, the Queen of Atlantis, to merge with, creating a protective dome that saved the city. Kida realizes with a shock that the light she remembers from her childhood was her mother being taken by the crystal to save them all. When they surface, the tone of the expedition shifts. Commander Rourke and Helga Sinclair are waiting for them, and they are no longer pretending to be explorers. They have found the missing page of the journal, which describes the heart as a commercially viable power source. Rourke plans to steal the heart and sell it to the highest bidder on the surface, regardless of the fact that without it, the Atlanteans will die in the dark. Milo is devastated to find that the crew he considered friends, Audrey, Vinny, and the others, are standing with Rourke, lured by the promise of gold.
Vinny, you can't do this!
We're all getting paid, Milo.
Don't take it personally. It's just business.
Rourke forces Milo to lead him to the heart's sanctuary. The king refuses to cooperate, and in a moment of cold cruelty, Rourke strikes the old man, mortally wounding him. Milo is horrified, standing up to Rourke, but he is powerless against the mercenaries' guns. They reach the inner sanctum, a lake of liquid light. The heart of Atlantis senses the danger. It pulses with a fierce red light. Sensing a threat, it searches for a royal bloodline to defend itself. It chooses Kida. In a trance-like state, Kida walks onto the water and is enveloped by the crystalline energy. She transforms into a being of pure white light and crystallizes into a glowing container. Rourke locks the crystallized Kida into a metal crate, preparing to haul her to the surface via a massive hot air balloon. He orders the crew to move out. However, seeing the dying king and the weeping Atlantean children, the crew's conscience finally catches up to them. One by one, Audrey, Vinny, Sweet, and the others cross the line to stand with Milo. Rourke scoffs, leaving them behind in the sinking city.
"I've got the prize," Rourke shouts as he ascends. "The rest of you can rot." Milo realizes they have only minutes to save Kida and the city before the light goes out forever.
Milo rallies the crew and the Atlantean warriors. Using the Shepherd's Journal, he teaches the warriors how to reactivate their fish flyers, ancient stone aircraft powered by crystal energy. "We're going to get her back," Milo declares. A fleet of flying stone ships rises from the city, chasing Rourke's mercenaries toward the surface through a massive volcanic chimney. The battle is fierce. Rourke's men use machine guns and biplanes, while the Atlanteans use energy beams. The chaos unfolds inside the shaft of an active volcano. Milo manages to board Rourke's massive airship. High above the magma, Milo and Rourke engage in a desperate struggle. Rourke is a seasoned killer, easily overpowering the skinny linguist. In the heat of the fight, Helga Sinclair is betrayed by Rourke, who throws her overboard to lighten the airship's load. With her last breath, she fires a flare into the airship's gas bag. As the ship begins to burn and descend, Milo uses a shard of the heart's crystal to scratch Rourke. The energy of the crystal reacts violently with Rourke's greed, turning his body into jagged, cursed glass. Rourke shatters as he falls into the propellers. The airship explodes, and Milo catches the crystallized Kida just as the volcano begins to erupt.
The eruption threatens to bury Atlantis in a river of lava. Milo and the crew race back to the city center with Kida's crystal container. They arrive just as the lava reaches the city gates. Milo releases Kida. The crystallized princess rises into the air, her power magnifying 1,000-fold. She awakens the stone giants, colossal statues that have slept for millennia. The giants clap their hands together, creating a shimmering blue energy shield that encases the entire city. The lava flows harmlessly over the dome, hardening into a protective shell. As the danger passes, Kida descends gently to the ground, returning to her human form. She is alive, and for the first time in 10,000 years, the heart of Atlantis is fully awake. In the aftermath, the crew prepares to return to the surface. They are loaded with gold and treasures, enough to make them all legends. However, they agree to keep the city a secret to protect it from the world above. Milo chooses to stay. He has found a home, a purpose, and a queen. Back in Washington, Whitmore receives a package from the crew. It contains a photo of Milo and Kida, along with a small Atlantean crystal. Above them, deep beneath the ocean, Atlantis begins to thrive once more. The city is no longer a tomb, it is a living, breathing empire, and Milo Tatch is finally where he belongs.